slate so far?
Work in progress. Got to get better, right? You know, it's early, but we just got to get him to play to the standard of our room, and he's working every day. He's doing some good things, so excited about it. But it's work in progress. Early in camp, got a lot of more snaps to get to before we're where we need to be.
He's got a decent amount though, right? For keep giving
Mhm.
Kiki's out, and Kenny was out. I mean, guys that are drafted that late don't always get that right away, do they?
Yeah, no, I mean he's lucky. He's going to get plenty of opportunity to prove himself. So that's all you can ask for as a young kid, you know.
Does he rush the passer maybe a little better than you thought?
You know what? When he's rolling, I mean, big, strong, athletic guy, can push the pocket, do some things like that. So, you know, I think he's an adequate rusher. Absolutely.
Last time we talked to you, you said you were really happy with how Dean finished last season. Are you happy with where he's kind of picked back off?
Yeah, you know, Dean does so much of the dirty work at the position that he's at. You know, he takes on a lot of double teams. He pushes the pocket, you know, on third downs when he gets those opportunities. But definitely has had a good camp so far, and you saw some things last night from him which were nice. So he's just heading in the right direction.
You're 2 weeks into camp, and you guys have had, what, 3 padded practices, one of those half pads, really. Does the new CBA make it difficult for your position group in particular? I mean, this is a physical position. They're supposed to be banging against guys, and you can't put pads on until like a week into camp.
Yeah, you know what? But you make the most of it. It's our position is such a fundamental base position, so we get a lot of those things worked on, which is nice because you get more individual time. But when you line up and put the pads on, you really find out who can sit in there, who can hold point, who's really playing well with their hands, who gets off blocks when things are actually live. So, you know, it's always good to get more of those padded reps per se. But, you know, a lot of these guys in my room are pros, and they've been here, done that. So when we do get to work with just helmets only, they know how to practice and do those things. But you know what you're getting out of those guys too. But the young ones probably need it more than the older guys, for sure.
Jerry, when Kingsley Kiki comes back, does he have to hit the ground running? And what's your expectation? Where was he, you know, at the end of OTAs and everything? What do you expect from him?
Now, you said Kiki and Kenny, correct?
No, I said Kingsley.
Okay, yeah, no. I'm really excited about Kiki. I mean, I think this is going to be a breakout year for him. I think he's going to be great on all downs, first, second, and third down. This is that third year where I think he's going to make that jump. And I thought he was great in the spring, and look forward to getting him when he comes back.
Hey, Jerry. Oh, well, first off, congrats on Jaden.
Yeah,
we got a
thank
chance
you.
to talk to you since then. With Tyler, what kind of resource has he been for the line the last 3 years, and the guy that, you know, could kind of figure into the rotation, and, you know, you find yourself in a spot without Kenny last night. He's obviously in there. Just what have you thought of what he's provided you guys the last 3 years?
Just availability. One, he knows what everybody does. Very intelligent. Can play linebacker from the mental aspect, so he knows what everybody does. And he's always available. I mean, if somebody goes down, he comes in the game and he plays solid and he does his job. You know, he's a guy that you would always love to have wherever you're at, is a guy that can come in, be a great foundation, backup, and then two, he's like a coach at practice. When I'm teaching somebody else, he sees things and he's helped making adjustments. I mean, you just love the kid, what he brings. You know, the kid's he's a real Green Bay Packer football player. I mean, he's just, you got to have a couple of those guys. So.
Hey, Jerry, you know, the old saying about great players want to be coached hard. I know Kenny, with the groin injury early in the season, impacted him. How are you challenging him this season? What are you kind of demanding from him?
You know what? The crazy thing about Kenny is he's usually the first one out there before the clock starts, before stretch, doing his own thing, doing extra work. He's always preparing and studying. You know, all I got to do is tell him something once. He fixes it, he corrects it. I mean, he's your ultimate pro from that standpoint. But, you know, And it's rare to have those days where he's not, you know, giving it 100% or those things. He leads by example. So, I mean, we ask him to do things, he does it. So, you know, it's rare to have guys like that with that type of talent, so.
You know, when we spoke to Dean Lowry, he seemed to have like a new level of positive about this, of optimism. And you talk about how, you know, he's a guy that does the dirty work and picks up the double teams. But since Joe has come here with a fresh set of eyes, are there different opportunities for Dean Lowry in certain kinds of situations?
You know what, it's all gonna play out who's available and who's not. So there's certain guys that do certain things better than other guys in certain situations that may get those opportunities. But if some of those guys aren't available and he gets those opportunities, you know, he's been one right now that's been taking advantage of those things. So, yeah, I mean, we love Dean, and Dean's going to be a really good player for us. I think he's going to start really fast, and, you know, I look forward to see what he does with those opportunities.
Coach, you talked about challenging Kenny, but how are you seeing him help the development of Slayton? I mean, he had a pick six in practice earlier this week, so just what are you seeing from those two?
Yeah, you know what? Kenny is, he's always led by example. So he's always one that, hey, TJ, take a look how it's being done here. So when you get in there, it should look the same. But Kenny on the side is constantly, hey, look, we got to do these things better. So he's been a really positive influence on him, and will continue to do that. But we've got a really, really good room of good young men, you know, from Dean, Kenny, Tyler, you know, Kiki's kind of come underneath that mold, and he's following in their footsteps. So those guys right there, all those young guys that are here are learning, and the things that come out of those older guys' mouth is just awesome in support and helping guiding these kids, for sure.
Good time for two more.
Hey, Jerry, Wes kind of stole my thunder. I was going to congratulate you too, although as a Wisconsin alum, but you were pretty open about your frustrations with what the pandemic was doing to high school sports.
Yeah.
As a dad, how thrilled are you to have Jake get the opportunity and have things work out? You can brag about him a little bit now.
Yeah, you know what? It worked out. You know, we got the opportunity. I say he got the opportunity to play and get film out there, and that's sometimes all you really need. And so he was able to do that, getting enough games, put some film out there, and then people liked his development from one year to the next. And he was blessed to get the opportunity at Iowa that he wanted. And so we were pumped for him. My wife played volleyball there. Obviously, I played football there, you know, for Hayden and Kirk. And I'm excited for him to go be his own man there and live his dream. So it's pretty neat, to be honest with you. So.
Too bad you lost the beard.
Yeah, what was that? It's been about 9 years.
Go Redbirds.
Yeah, they broke the 9-year losing streak. That's.
What was it?
So.